Food, glorious food, food. I may be paraphrasing, but the basic message is there. For many of us, food is more than mere sustenance and survival. It's the reward after a long shift at work, the comfort during a miserable breakup, or the vital preparation before the day really begins. We all have our favorite snacks, meals, and treats, but there's nothing more appealing than the stuff you know you can't have. You know, the wonderful foods and drinks you see on screen when watching the TV, a film, or when playing your favorite game. Anyone for a pint of blue milk? How about a slice of tubby toast? Yum. For some reason, fictional food is just more appealing than anything in the real world, and in recent years, recipe books and other assorted branded paraphernalia has been released to allow us to attempt to recreate it. Doesn't always go according to plan, though. We live in a world where you can get 4 bottles of Fallout's Nuka-Cola on eBay without having to go through the whole apocalypse and wasteland stuff beforehand, and that made us think. If we could create a picnic, a tasting platter if you will, of 10 lovely-looking foods and drinks from our favourite games, what would make the cut? Well, the results are in, and here they are. I'm Ben from TripleJump, and here are 10 delicious video game foodstuffs we'd love to eat. Number 10. Roast chicken. The Sims 4. When we weren't acting as evil overlords, trapping our Sims in their own swimming pool by stealing the ladder once they'd got in, or summoning firestorms to burn their houses to the ground, there was just enough time to do a spot of cooking, and if you really tried your hardest to make your Sim man or Sim woman an expert level 10 chef, you'd be rewarded with the ability to cook a roast chicken. Now, I know that may not sound like much, but when you take into account that this recipe can only be cooked by the Gordon Ramsays and Nigella Lawsons of the Sims world, then it must be something special. Of course, it can't rank too highly on our list because the concept of a roast chicken is hardly something unique to the EA title, but sometimes, kids, it's about the journey, not the destination, and that dish was proof that your Sim was at the pinnacle of their culinary craft. Number 9. Salisbury Steak. Cooking Mama. In a franchise of games devoted to cooking dishes even better than Mama, it's almost impossible to pick one that's most appealing. From croquettes to crab fried rice, miso soup to meatballs, and an assortment of gyoza in between, the Asian American-inspired cuisine was enough to get us all salivating on the touchscreen of our respective Nintendo DS's when choosing which dish to include here. A mixture of ground beef and onions amongst an assortment of other herbs, spices, bits, and bobs, usually molded together into the conventional shape of a steak, the Salisbury steak is a reasonably popular American dish, although a very similar recipe, possibly Mama's original, has been found in an ancient Roman collection which could date as far back as the early 4th century. That's right, history lessons on TripleJump videos now. Oh, we really spoil you. The unnerving yet strangely attractive Mama is a hard taskmaster, and under her watchful supervision and following her detailed recipe, it's possible to create this show-stopping staple of the series. Number 8. Clucking Bell. GTA San Andreas. Not everything needs to be a home-cooked masterpiece that you have to slave over the stove to create. Sometimes we all need the comfort of fast food, and nothing epitomizes fast food better than Grand Theft Auto's Clucking Bell. Really coming into the spotlight with Big Smoke's now infamous order in San Andreas, Clucking Bell is fried chicken served with one-liners even drier than the meat in their burgers by staff with clear attitude problems. Sort it out! We particularly fancy trying a foul wrap and washing it down with a big gulp of the precariously named Sprunk soda. Oh GTA, you and your sophisticated humour. Although the restaurant chain's food may not be the healthiest on our list, I think it's likely one of the most satisfying, and if we get anything like Big Smoke's aforementioned order, it'll keep us all going for days. Number 7. The Ultimate Cup Noodle. Final Fantasy 15. In one of the more surreal moments of Final Fantasy 15, which is saying something when we're talking about a game that takes place in a fictional world and involves the frequent use of magic and potions, is an entire mission dedicated to making the ultimate cup noodle. Cup Noodle being a legitimate Nissin brand of ramen in Japan. In this bizarre but not too jarring, well, maybe quite jarring product placement deal, the team realised that in the end, it's not about one particular ingredient, but crafting the perfect blend, which is a line that sounds like it came straight out of one of those late-night dubbed TV adverts. Fortunately, this mission is relatively straightforward, and the cup noodles themselves look almost delicious enough to be worth killing a behemoth for. Almost. Number 6. Lon Lon Milk. Legend of Zelda. A recurring item in the Legend of Zelda series, Lon Lon Milk is a tasty drink full of energy and nutritious healing properties. Link is first given a bottle of Lon Lon Milk, a product of the Lon Lon Ranch cows, on completion of Talon's Super Cuckoo's Find-In game in Ocarina of Time, and from there on it's either 10 rupees to buy or Link has to collect it himself by playing Epona's song to a cow, which is really not how I was led to believe the dairy industry worked. Each bottle of milk contained 2 servings, which replenished health 4 hearts at a time, which is particularly useful early in the game. The delicious dairy delight would pop up in a few more Zelda games to come, and with its obvious healing and make bones grow stronger properties, we'd love to try a drop in our tea. Number 5. Sarris Ice Brandy. Mass Effect 2. When Mass Effect's Colonel Shepard isn't sexing his or her way around the galaxy, he or she likes to unwind with a nice bottle of Sarris Ice Brandy. A seemingly potent beverage, Shepard must find and buy a bottle of the drink for Dr. Chakwas, who lost hers when the original Normandy was destroyed at the start of the game. The Doctor shows her gratitude by offering the commander a drink and reminisces about lost soldiers should you accept, a solemn moment which is broken by Shepard's drunken sway after drinking a bit too much. A classy addition to this video, and perhaps the most expensive, the Sarris Ice Brandy is going straight on our Christmas list if it ever makes its way into reality. Please. Number 4. Sweet Rolls. The Elder Scrolls series. Is it a bun, a barm cake, or a bap? A muffin, a cob, or maybe even a tea cake? Bethesda gave us their answer in the Elder Scrolls series with the Sweet Roll. Considered something of a running gag, the Sweet Roll made its first appearance in the Elder Scrolls Arena, where it features in one of the class-determining questions. The confectionery item would go on to have a role, in further titles in the series too, becoming an edible food item in Oblivion and Skyrim. A simple recipe of milk, flour, butter, eggs, and salt, it's hard to see why it's so often stolen by thugs in alleyways, which makes us think that there's something special that those pesky bakers are putting in the mix they're not telling us about. Regardless, it seems about time that we're able to judge it for ourselves and decide whether it's worth all the acclaim, or whether those guys and gals in Tamriel just haven't had a decent baked treat before. Give Snowy Joey's a try. I dare you. Number 3. Crib-filled cake. BioShock. From one sweet baked good to another, this relatively common vending machine fare appears in both BioShock and BioShock 2. Similar in description to the famous American snack, the Twinkie, this delicious item is a good way to restore a little health in-game. Should you not be in the immediate vicinity of a vending machine, they're also found in bins, and even on corpses, though I can't imagine why you'd be that desperate for one. Seriously, come on mate, get out that dead man's pocket. Oh, well, I mean, wasn't going to use that first aid kit. Produced by the wonderfully named company Thanks Mom and advertised as a creamy treat as fresh as can be, we imagine it as a regular lunchbox filler for the children of the time. Fortunately for us though, there are plenty of recipes online, and though we can't be sure they're 100% accurate because, you know, the cakes are fictional, I'm sure they go some way to providing some satisfaction to those with a real hankering for crib and cake. Number 2. Sea salt ice cream. Kingdom Hearts. Making sweet things a bit savoury is a largely modern phenomenon for those who don't understand that you can have both a main meal and dessert. Salted caramel, chili chocolate, the list goes on, and if I ever come to power, I shall ban it outright, although I am partial to salted caramel, so probably not. However, sea salt ice cream from the Disney crossover world of Kingdom Hearts looks worth a try at least. Perhaps one of the most sought after recipes on the internet, this cold blue treat has been a regular fixture of the popular series. The story goes that Tetsuya Nomura, lead developer of the franchise since its inception, first tasted sea salt ice cream at a trip to Tokyo Disney Sea and liked it so much he decided to have it put into Kingdom Hearts 2 like some sort of iced treat. No! Brain freeze! The sticky substance on a stick looks the perfect companion to a walk along the beach or a day at the park. Finally, a competitor for the immortal 99 Flake. But seriously guys, you need to stop mixing sweet and savoury now. That's enough. Number 1. The Black Forest Gateau. Portal. Our love of chocolate cake has landed us in hot water in the past. All slices for us, thank you! So when the idea for this list was first floated around, there was only ever going to be one winner, and that, like the cake itself, is not a lie. Well, I mean, the phrase is the cake is a lie, but the fact that we discussed it in the office isn't a lie, but well, you know what, it doesn't matter. No, you shut up. Now, I know that Black Forest Gateau is not only available, but also quite a popular choice of cake recipe in the real world, but there's just something so appealing about the image of that particular cake. Those glacé cherries, the textured chocolate finish, or maybe it's the fiberglass surface resins and volatile malted milk impoundments. It'd almost be a shame to ruin it by cutting a slice. Perhaps then it's best that no one got to eat the cake, with GLaDOS seemingly trying to greedily save it for herself, though how she'd have eaten it is still a mystery. We never find out what happened to the original cake once its candle was extinguished, and can only imagine it would have been severely past its best before date by the time Chell woke up for the sequel, which is quite disappointing, but never mind. The beauty of being an adult is that I can have cake whenever I want, but the disadvantage of that is the act of physically going to the shop to buy a shame cake. Maybe another time then. And that's our list. Do you like video games? What about food? Let us know your favourites in the comments below. You can follow myself and TripleJump on Twitter here, and while you're at it, why not support the things you enjoy by having a look at our Patreon? Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Ben from TripleJump, and thanks for watching.